Hey everyone, so this is a daily practice as requested by Tom and Paul, members in our community, who wanted me to expound upon the 5 movements of the spine, which I say often is very important to do regularly. So here's a daily practice you can do in between your classes, just for a couple minutes, if you just have a couple minutes to do some movements. We'll go to hands and knees and start there. So just start making any movements of your spine that feel good for you. And you can even turn this all the way like into sort of baby up dog. You're moving your shoulders, your hips. So anything that feels good, a side bend. So the idea is just to get in some movement every day, some mindful movement, and move your spine through all of its directions of motion, and to move the major muscles of the body. That's always important to do those basic things each day, and move your joints as well. So we'll go to hands and knees and to a cat-cow. So as you inhale, extend your spine, arch your back. And as you exhale, round your back, tuck your pelvis and chin in. A few times through cat-cow as you inhale to cow pose. And exhale to cat pose. Move at your own pace. A few breaths like this. And usually there's some areas of your spine that are easier for you to move. But feel into different areas of your spine. Maybe it's more of the upper back for you, maybe the lower back, but the whole spine becoming a little more fluid and less stiff. Next time you come into the cow pose, stay there, arching the back, or move forward into Anahatasana, the heart chakra pose, the arms forward like a Y, and either your forehead down or your chin down. And the hips are over your knees, and the spine's extending. Couple breaths here. So this is spinal extension that we're in right now, one of the 5 movements. Then we'll walk the hands to the right. This is lateral flexion, another one of the 5 movements of the spine. Your right ribs get a little shorter, your left ribs get a little longer. You can sort of plant your hands and lean your ribs to the left. And then walk your hands over to the other side off the mat. Plant your hands and lean your ribs to the right. This is also lateral flexion. It's a side bend. Then walk your hands back to the center and we'll round the back into spinal flexion, rounding the back. Hold there for a moment. And if you feel more open, you can move into rabbit pose, forehead towards the knees, hands grab the heels, and the tail lifts. This is another movement of the spine, spinal flexion. And then we'll unfurl the spine back to hands and knees into a twist, spinal rotation. So your left arm underneath, left shoulder down, and you can sort of press into your right hand to reach through your left hand. And you can also extend your right knee, press into your foot, and get a little into the upper back. Just a brief stay with each of these poses long enough to feel the movement of the body. Then we'll slowly come back to center, over to the other side. Right arm reaches through, right side of your head down. And again, you could extend the left knee, press into the foot here. So the 5 movements of the spine to do every day: spinal flexion, spinal extension, lateral flexion, and right here is the rotation. And now the last movement from hands and knees is to downward facing dog. And you can bend one knee at a time, gently transition. And this is axial extension, where your spine is essentially decompressing or neutralizing the curves of the spine. If you happen to have some way of hanging upside down, that's even better. But down dog is a good way to do it. So is dolphin pose if you prefer dolphin with the elbows down. But either way, the spine is decompressing to gravity. Then we'll come down to hands and knees. And a little joint movement here. Right hip makes circles in all directions. And the left hip makes circles in all directions. And then to either kneeling or sitting, just for a moment to move the shoulders in a sort of circular motion in both directions. And move your neck. Now relax the shoulders and move your neck in any way that feels good. One last little shoulder thing here. Hands behind your back. Reach the arms back. Lift your heart. And then we'll go the other way. Hands interlace in front of you. Press your palms forward. Round your back, shoulders apart. Arms overhead. Lift your heart. And release your hands down. And that's our little quick movement practice to start the day. And if you want to sit for a moment in meditation, that's a good place to go. But otherwise, hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next class.